So now I got other people doing it. Let me tell you how I ended up here. I had no thoughts of being a teacher. All I wanted to do when I got out of corporate America was to buy and sell property. Remember, I quit my job, took the package that they offered, and quit. And the problem of it is I ran into a negative $10,000 a month cash flow problem, right? So what happened was I got these 2 luncheons. I had $1 million, which righted my financial business ship, and I was able to get continue my education and do just what we're doing right here. Just exactly what we're doing right here. So I went to a boot camp, and it was out in Las Vegas. And the guy running the show, what he did was he started over in this corner of the room, and he said, "What are you doing different? What are you doing different? What are you doing different?" What he wanted us to do is to learn from each other. Now, what happened was I was sitting where this gentleman is right here, and I didn't have a clue what the heck I was going to say. You ever had that happen to you? Don't you hate that feeling? But I had time because he's weaving his way through the group. And about the time he got to this row right here, I had a light bulb go on. And it was, I'm going to talk about this luncheon so he will leave me alone and I'll never have to do this again. Everybody got it? I never wanted to do it. I didn't want to talk in front of people, okay? So he got to me and I said, I got these 2 luncheons. I got a bunch of private money. He did this. He slapped the desk. He said, "That's great. You're speaking in Cashiers, North Carolina next month." I like to hit the floor. I didn't want to speak there or anywhere. And then he moved on. He went on around the room. And I struggled. I didn't know whether I wanted to go to this other meeting or not. And I thought, well, what do I have to lose? It's a training event. I get to go to it and hear all these wonderful speakers. So I showed up, and it's a 3-day event. And for 2.5 days, he ignored me. I sat in the back of the room so he couldn't see me, kept my head down. I didn't want to do it. I was prepared to do it, but I didn't want to do it. So he finally, right before lunch, he caught me. He said, "Hey, Alan, come on up here. Let's see what you got." Well, my knees are knocking. My hands are sweaty instantly. I don't want to go up there. But everybody's looking at me. They say, like 100 wild horses can't get you up there. But I was committed, and I knew I had to go do this and get it out of the way. I thought, I'm going to go up and do this, and I'll never have to do it again. So I got up in front, and I treated them like I did the people that were in my 2 luncheons. I showed them those slides. And when I got done, I noticed that people had been taking notes, and they asked me questions, and somebody asked me out to lunch. Now, I got to tell you, for 2.5 days, they didn't know who the heck I was. That day, 3 carloads full of real estate investors took me out to lunch. They seated me at the head of the table. They asked me more questions. They took more notes. Somebody bought my lunch. I thought, this is a good day. I remember pulling up to the gravel parking lot for the final afternoon session, and there's a guy looking for me. Now, sometimes that can be bad news. You guys know that. Sometimes good news. This had to be great news. This guy comes running up. He says, "Alan, I want to buy your slides." I said, "Well, my slides aren't for sale." He did this. He got in his breast pocket, pulled out his checkbook, wrote me a check, handed me a check. I handed him my slides just like the heck. I didn't know the slides were for sale. I saw that check. I come up to the door, glazed with my check, couldn't believe it. Some lady standing there. She says, "Alan, I want to buy your slides." I said, "You can't. Some dude in the parking lot just bought." She said, "That's okay. Send me some." Opened up her purse, got out her checkbook, wrote me a check, come walking in the room with 2 checks. Got ready to sit down. Some guy comes running up all out of breath. He says, "Alan, I want to buy your slides." Now, by then, I knew something good was going on. I just know what the heck to do. The guy that saw what was happening got me over in the corner. He said, "Look, you got something real estate investors desperately need. You got to get out and teach it." The next month, he had me up in front of 150 folks in Jacksonville, Florida, and it hadn't stopped since. I speak 35 times a year all over the nation. I do about 85 webinars out there. And let me tell you why I do it. Because when I get out, I get to meet my students. I know I've got students in this room because I can recognize them. And, I came to Dallas a few years back, and I had a couple drive 2.5 hours one way just to thank me for the system that I created for them because it had changed their lives and allowed them to be a full-time real estate investor, not have to worry about money. I was in Virginia a while back, and a lady drove 4 hours to hear this talk that you're hearing right now, one way. One of the beautiful things that's happened to me is the power that my teachings and my systems have done for folks just like you. And I'm here now today, and I get to meet some of my students, and it's so great to hear what they have done with my system. So I'm not going to do it forever, but that's why I'm here today. So yeah, who said Alan? That's awesome. Congratulations. Let's give him a round of applause. Right? Go ahead. Hey. Yep. Awesome. There you go. That's how it works. You know, that's the best money you spent, probably. I tell you. It really was. You know. I still use those concepts and ideas to this day to present to my product members. Awesome. Hey, one of the things I'm glad you brought that up is that I do free upgrades. Now there'll be a lot of gurus that you'll claim they do that, but we actually work at getting back out to people and letting them know. We'll do mailings and email. And so you if you bought it years ago and you haven't upgraded, you need to open up the front of the cover, be the office number, you need to get a free upgrade. It goes for anybody else that's in here. Okay? So, yeah, you can get the most up-to-date stuff. And if you got it that long ago, you're going to get a pile of stuff because I've added some cool stuff out there. Yeah, and you want to do that so you don't miss out. Made a difference in my life. Going to that.